so sorry. And there was a big bag sitting there from the second flood. No. And I go, how's your brother spend it? Hell no, he couldn't do it. No, he has no condition at all. Don't ever do it. So, I don't know. I guess the problem was they were here maybe 6, 7. I didn't know where I needed to be. It's a good amount. I didn't know where I needed to be. But I bought my beautiful line. I now own the whole building. I own the property behind it across the street. I own 4 condos. 4 bare lots on Boston. And I did it with my husband signed it. So anyway, it's been crazy. Died at 72. I've been with him. It's my daughter is, she says, Nancy, our mother was, unless you have that gene, you'll never understand it. And I was like, you'll never understand it. Because Ron was family, there was 8 kids. And I said to the oldest daughter, I said, how come we're not in our house? She said, I am. But I'm sure, everybody else. Yeah, she was a teacher, she had a higher class. She was higher brain power. Life is something. I can also have an author of 5 books. And anyway, I just published a book this summer. Like they think they don't realize this thing is coming on faster than what they're ever going to. It's unusual, but I know.
Oh, hey. Nice to see you.
Anyway, no. Yeah, I used to have it. My people becoming a widow. I asked my daughter, like my middle daughter, I said, so I asked my oldest daughter, I said, would you like a little? She said, no. I said, I told her, I said, when I was they're very sharp, but I give her with an extra line at one eye. So then when she comes, especially if she's she finally did. So isn't that interesting? You know, it's my license.
So, a new thing. There you go.
Nobody has the interest, and the men don't have the to even after they tell you to travel the world, they want a new woman so they can travel again. But when you want to date, you're picking out women. How are you? That's right. Stupid assholes and they're gonna die. You know. But anyway, that's my story. You want to go? Yeah, I should. I was told years ago I should. girls. So he's got, huh? Well, no, he'd never ever get anything in the world. The woman who's so cute in this case, she's engaged. Anyway,
On theirs, right?
Yeah, yeah, you've got Jordy, who's always pro-development, and
And I'm going to discuss what I brought and then leave it up to them to have the discussion. You know, I can give information. I've got a couple staff here too. So.
if you have, there, we don't know capacity to serve how much they are. So we're not coming in with, no, we can't do it.
That's what I said to Claire the other day, or yesterday when I spoke to her. I said,
I got those estimates for the revenue. Approximately 4.2 million in water and 2.2 for wastewater.
for the outside?
Outside the city. That was as of last year anyway, so.
I told her, I said, about, remember I had told you about the 16 million that's for complete service area build out. I said, but that was in 2007. I said, here we are, it's almost 2027, we will be in 2027 before you know it. I said, that land use has changed, and we picked up larger customers, so we don't know, when we did that projection, that was based on the land use and everything at that time. I said, we really need to go and have the ECAP model redone, and I said, and then include Jones Loop. I said, but again, unless we know what we're serving, you can't say that you have or that you don't have.
So we're just concerned, did we have a utilities department employee that said do this, do
We did say that we did have a capacity to serve a specific project, where they came in and asked for like 1.5 million gallons for a bottling plant.
Well, okay. And that's extreme. That's
Yeah.
extreme.
We got everything good on there? You have your, okay. Sweet.
I came prepared. But again, if everybody wants to do something like productive to make this kind of smooth out, let's talk about the MFLs. Talk about the MFLs. We've been put into a corner through restrictions from Swiftline. Remove those, we physically have the capacity. I'm surprised there's so many people.
Yeah, I grabbed it over here. Like, I think I need this.
I did. My daughter was dancing, and then she started going, and I had listing in my show, ran out because I was running late. So we made the dance. Get it all. Don't have the right hand. She has
Sharing microphones. So, extra. I'm not sure. You're not sharing. That's fine. You're probably going to have too many questions coming through. You're good. We still have three. Yeah, his mom's in town this week, so.
I went to email him and I told that. I was like,
That's always a good decision, isn't it?
She was diagnosed when she was just turned 5.
Yeah, I was out in Englewood all day. How's that? Is that better? Okay.
Englewood.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is December 9th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're having an emergency special meeting here today, and thank you, Utility Advisory Board, for being here. Would you just state your name that you are here, please?
George Ruppke.
Dave Abderholden.
Gary Skillicorn is here.
David Hooper.
Thank you, sir. And roll call?
Janine Volk.
Greg Julian.
Janice Denton.
Melissa Lockhart.
Fantastic. We're going to do an invocation. Do you have anybody here to do an invocation? Okay. So we don't have anybody here to do an invocation, so we're going to just go to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I always have our veterans please stand to be recognized. Thank you for your service and our freedom. Do we have any announcements to make?
I have just one. I'm sorry. Just for, as everybody, both board members and, council and UAB members are aware, we are sharing microphones tonight, so it will be extra, ultra important to please speak nice and loudly and clearly into the microphone so that we can make sure we're capturing all of this very important meeting on the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No. So our next meeting is actually going to be after the new year on January 6th. It's a workshop on sustainability, and it will be right here in the community room. Does everybody approve the agenda? Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And public input, anybody wishing to address the council on any matter must state their name for the record. Each person will be allowed to speak up to a maximum of 3 minutes.
Hello, my name's Debbie Kudre, and I was just wondering on this issue, why would we be handing over any say-so over our water and our septic? Like, we already have water wars going on up the watershed. It's like they want to put an AI center in at Polk County. They want to inject from the top, and Mosaic wants down deep into the aquifer, and Mosaic wants to dump from the top. Isn't that burning the candle at both ends to meet the middle? I mean, we don't want to collapse our our aquifer. So I'm just saying, like, why don't we rethink this? We want say-so over our area, you know? Why should we let that to the county? Basically, it's the same thing as the fire department. We want say-so. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Nancy Ponick. I've lived here in Punta Gorda for 40 years now. And when I own a building in Port Charlotte, 25 years. And the county has always taken out the water and sewer bill every year until this year. I got notice that they want to charge $1 now to take, and they are. You had to start a new account with them. And somebody, whoever it is that's collecting, think of the thousands of people in this county that are paying that extra $1 for the greed of somebody. I don't understand it. And we don't dare turn our water over to the county. Keep your independence. I live right here in Punta Gorda. And I've watched this town growing way too fast, guys. We can't keep up with the sewer and water. I understand they're hauling trucks with sewer in it. They can't cope at some of the ends of the street in Port Charlotte. And then you're going to turn your water over to these people? Think about it. Don't do it.
For the record, Don Hurlston. Madam Chair, council members, the fact that we are here today in an emergency meeting proves this point. Punta Gorda suffers from inertia. Problems pile up, meetings are called, but solutions stall. The inertia is systematic, and it's costing our community. Examples: procurement bottlenecked. We default to state statutes, but under home rule, we can write our own procurement code. Faster, tailored, efficient. We haven't yet. That's inertia. Public works bottlenecked. Many projects could be outsourced to private contractors. Today, instead, they sit in queue. That's inertia. Comprehensive plan and LDR is delayed. AI tools can accelerate drafting, analysis, and public input. Other cities are doing this. We aren't. That's inertia. Water meter issue, unresolved. Gateway Utility District in Lee County has already trialed in-ground systems with multiple vendors. We could mimic that model and move forward. We haven't. That's inertia. Charlotte Park, septic to sewer, stalled. Public health and environmental needs, ignored. 911 dispatch, study, safety compromised by indecision. Flooding, still unaddressed. Residents live the risk while studies gather dust. These are not isolated problems, they are symptoms of the same disease, inertia. Every one of these examples is understood by this body, and everyone has been allowed to linger. This emergency meeting is not about one bill or one utility transfer, it's about a pattern, a culture of delay, a government that reacts only when forced instead of planning and delivering. And here's the truth. Solutions exist. Outsourcing, AI assistance, proven trial systems. The tools are available. The only thing missing is the will to act. I'm asking you to acknowledge this inertia publicly and commit to fixing it. Stop deferring, stop bottlenecking, stop waiting for crisis to dictate your agenda. Our community deserves proactive governance, not reactive excuses. Stewardship means continuity, resilience, and action. The time to break this cycle is now. At the end of the meeting, I'm going to come up, I'm going to speak for just a few minutes, and I'm going to offer you a solution. And I hope that at least two of you will be brave enough to put it on the agenda and give it serious consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Hi, my name is John Fleming. I'm the chairman of the Burnstall Corridor Coalition. I live in Burnstall Lakes. The coalition has been examining the issues of utilities and the lack of being proactive for a number of months now, approximately a year. I think you should all know, and I want to give this to all of you, enter into the evidence. It is part of a report done that Charlotte County had consultants come up and do an analysis of their tap fees that developers use to turn into utilities in the county. Charlotte County has some of the lowest tap fees in the state. As a matter of fact, right now, it costs the developer $2,900 to hook up to the utilities. But according to the consultants, that fee really should be $7,910. Question I'd ask you is, and maybe you want to ask your fellow commissioners, why is it so low? They haven't raised the tap fee since 2018. Residents of Charlotte County were just hit with a nice gift. We were told, or we were shown on our utility bill this month, that not only had our bill gone up in October, but it's going to go up again after a meeting in March. First thing I did was call the local news organizations, and they came and did a story. I think that Charlotte County, again, is using you as a fall guy like they did for the 9/11 system. They want you to bail them out. So I understand that you have home rule. They're trying to get you to come to a meeting on December 17th. If I was you guys, I wouldn't go. Wait until they tell you and give you something on the record so that you can look and examine it. This, to me, is a smoking gun for you, you may want to ask the commissioners, why have you kept it so low? Why have you not raised the tap fee since 2018? That's according to their utilities director. Why did you need to hire a high-priced consultant to tell you what it should be? That's a $5,000 difference. We, the residents, have had to pay 49% increases over the past 5 years. Developers have paid nothing, okay? The residents here should know they're using you as a scapegoat. You're gonna have to be proactive with this. If anyone wants to look at this and discuss it with us, the coalition has been working on this, like I said, for a year. Reach out to us. We have a lot we can discuss with you. I believe you're really being screwed here. I'll enter this into the evidence. I guess you guys can just look at it.
Thank you, John. John, do you have a copy for everybody?
Do you have a copy for everybody, or we can just give it to you?
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Chuck Lewis, Punta Gorda, Isles. This is a surprise, and it's alarming. I think that any time that they try to do something and it's done this quick and it's under the gun, it's never going to benefit the people that is targeted, and that would be the folks of Punta Gorda. I don't think that a decision of this magnitude should be made this fast. I also believe that we should push back on this matter and tell them that we'll manage our own water and our own sewer, and we'll just send them the smell. So I think it's a good idea that we do not acquiesce to their request. I don't think it's in our best interest to do that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Kathleen Davis, Punta Gorda, Isles. When we had the 911 attempted hostile takeover at the county level, Dr. Lux was able to research the home rule statutes, and I don't know if they apply right here, but if they do, I think that if this is to our benefit or not to our benefit, it should be our choice as a city whether we cooperate with this or not. It should not be done to us without our consent. It seems to be a bit of a rush because they are going to take over the water first and then the wastewater will be later. It seems to me, if they're not ready to do everything at one time, it seems to me they're doing something in haste. It doesn't seem right. And I find that in our city, we are a bit better at keeping up with the infrastructure needs than the county is. The county seems to be building kind of whole scale, and when they run out of stuff or the roads are bad, they don't have enough traffic lights on the Burnt Store Road, they don't have enough water or whatever, then they're kind of in a bind. I think that we should be very careful at letting somebody take over any kind of control over our systems when they're not really doing that great themselves already. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kay Ebbs. I'm a Punta Gorda Isles resident, and I want to be on record saying this is alarming that they do want to take over our water and sewer system. There might be some advantage to us. I do not see it. I have not heard of any. I know of lots of disadvantages to us. So I hope we're cautious and go home rule. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak on this?
Can I say something more?
Oh, we got somebody else coming right behind you. Debbie, say it at the end.
Hello, everybody. Carol McDonald, PGI. This is the first I heard of it. I think Janine posted it. Thank you, Janine. And I got here as quick as I could. I just don't like the sound of it. I haven't researched it, but I don't see why we would even consider such a thing. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Debbie, why don't you say something at the end, okay?
What's that?
At the end, at the end of
Okay.
the meeting? Yeah,
Gotcha.
okay. Anybody else want to say anything?
And nothing particularly important to add. My name is Rick Perry, but I do know, after spending a lot of time working with the federal government, I used to commute from here to DC for about 20 years. I do know that when something comes up this fast and you're blindsided and they haven't done any discussions with the parties involved, that there's something going on that's not right. That's the only thing that I feel about seeing it. There's something we don't know that they're not disclosing, or that someone has a plan for that we may have a difficult time finding out what that is.
Thank you. Anyone else? Second time, anybody else want to come up and say anything? One last time? No one? Okay. We're going to go ahead and move to the regular agenda.
So I'll introduce our Utilities Director, Tom Spencer. He will explain the facts in this situation. He'll also discuss some of the conversations that he's had with county staff and other parties. And you'll hear from him that we did not find out about this until last Friday when it was advertised in the newspaper. So we spent Friday doing research, talking to people, and finding out what's going on to the best of our ability. As was mentioned before, there are things that we may not be aware of yet, but we wanted to bring City Council in to understand what we know now, and for all of you to have the opportunity to talk with UAB to determine strategy moving forward on this issue. And we really thank the public for coming out as well to hear all of the facts on this issue. So, Mr. Spencer?
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, Utilities Advisory Board, and the public. I appreciate everyone attending with such short notice. This is something that we did learn about on Friday, and as our city manager said, it did kind of catch us blindsided. So today we're just going to go through what we know, give you the facts, describe the potential impacts, discuss the long-term, long-standing regional planning efforts, emphasize our willingness to collaborate with the county, and provide a public forum for council and UAB to discuss. So, as I said, the city first became aware of this on Friday afternoon. It was not sent to us directly. There was a notice that was posted in the paper, and I reached out to Representative Oliver's office, as well as Representative Nix and Senator Albritton's office, and requested a copy of the draft bill. They provided that. Charlotte County staff had reported that they also received the draft unexpectedly around the same time, and their deputy county administrator confirmed that they did not originate it, and they were now reviewing it as well. The bill sponsor stated that the language is in early draft form and may change, but as of today, this is the only version that we've seen. And there is uncertainty as why it exists. But it's important for us to review this information publicly and discuss it with council and the UAB. So the summary of the bill is that they're looking to transfer the potable water service outside the city limits to Charlotte County. It authorizes the county to take over operations of billing, management, related functions. And the phrase associated assets and obligations, which is used, it's a very broad language, and we definitely need some clarification on that. Wastewater is addressed, but as mentioned earlier, it's separate, and it may change through a future interlocal agreement, and the bill does not explain how permits, infrastructure, or financial obligations would be handled. The intent and timeline and implementation plan have not been provided. Currently, it is a preliminary draft, and it is the only version available. A little overview for the city's water system. Our water treatment plant, as well as our wastewater treatment plant, is located outside of the city limits. The well field, the major raw water infrastructure are also located outside the city limits. Those are some of the assets that we would be concerned about as addressed in the bill. The potable water system was designed, permitted, and constructed to serve not just the city within the corporate limits, but the entire service area. The system operates as a single integrated network with treatment, transmission, and storage facilities working together to supply all of our customers. Approximately 33% of our demand comes from outside the city limits within the county. The city's long-term capital planning, including the past and ongoing expansions, has always been based on serving those areas. When we built out the RO plant and when we expanded and when we were planning for expansions, it's based on serving those areas. So revenue from all customers support the operations, maintenance, and repayment of existing debt tied to the treatment plant improvements. Without that income, we're going to have a hard time satisfying those debts. So this map shows the corporate city limits there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a red dashed line that goes around, and then the purple line is our utility service area. A significant portion of the service area, and there, I'll show you there. So there's the corporate city limits. There's your county, which is in the service area. Then the ECAP zone, which is the Enterprise Charlotte Airport Park, which is an economic development zone. And then our water treatment plant, all the way out on Washington Loop. So as you can see, based on where the plant is, we pump through the county in order to get to most of the city, actually to all of the city. That ECAP zone is a key planned commercial and industrial growth area that's within our service area, and we've cooperated and coordinated with the county as recently as just this month to serve projects within that ECAP area. So we've got a long history of working cooperatively with Charlotte County on water supply planning and regional utility issues. We'd like to continue that. I don't know that this proposed bill is necessarily the way to do it. The city continues to support planned growth areas, including that ECAP and other commercial and industrial zones. Our treatment plant expansion planning includes capacity for regional projects and needs. Often we'll work with the Economic Development Office to find out what things are coming so that we can plan and model for it. The city's open to continued discussions on coordinating planning and future water supply needs. And collaboration definitely helps both agencies as we manage growth and plan for reliable service in the future. Some operational financial considerations here. Currently, all the permits are held by the city for the water treatment, supply, and distribution, as well as for our wastewater plant. The plant, well field, and transmission systems operate as one integrated system managed by the city. Removing outside city customers would impact our revenue needed for the operations and capital needs, and the existing debt, which was financed based on serving that full utility service area, would be impacted. The Charlotte County does not currently have capacity in the agreement, I'm sorry, not the agreement, but in the proposed bill. It says that Charlotte County is prepared to take over the service area immediately. I don't know how they would do that, and neither do they, based on the conversations that we've had. They don't have capacity or the infrastructure. Any service transfer would require years of planning, and we just haven't had that planning yet. So some key questions raised by the bill. What problems are they trying to solve? Because we're actively working with them on projects as they are presenting them to us. In order for us to give them provide them service, we need to know what is coming and what is going to be built in the area, and then we can plan for that and build for it. You can't just hope that you have enough water. You need to actually plan for it. How the language regarding the associated assets and obligations applies, like I said, our facilities are outside the corporate limits of the city. So are those part of the assets and facilities that they're speaking about? The regulatory compliance responsibilities would need to be looked at. How are those going to be handled? The timeline would need to be worked out, because right now there is no timeline. We would have to figure that out. It's not going to happen overnight. And what would the long-term what are the long-term impacts for our customers if the county takes over the water treatment plant? We would in essence be a customer of the county, and we would be purchasing water from a plant that we once owned. So the next step forward, we're going to continue discussions with Charlotte County and the bill sponsor, reinforce our willingness to cooperate on these economic development projects and the regional planning and growth, and maintain transparency with you, the public, with our staff, and with the advisory board and council. So currently staff's requesting direction from council and the UAB regarding a formal response in our position.
Yes, yesterday I called Representative Oliver and talked to her, trying to understand what was driving this, and she basically explained that it's the airport authority and other developers that are very frustrated that any projects that they have can't get off the ground because we don't have adequate water to support them. And that's the bottom line. I also called Commissioner Teseo. He said it wasn't initiated by the county, and they have to really understand what it is that they're trying to do, but didn't feel that they were able to take over that responsibility if it were to be fulfilled down there.
Yes, I had a conversation with Representative Oliver, and the same feeling was a frustration of, if projects want to get off the ground, do we have enough water? And I asked the question, has there been anything yet that has been nixed, that hasn't been able to? And she basically said no, she was not aware of that. It's a feeling. So, I personally think that this can be very quickly resolved. I also know she did make a statement that it was something that, obviously it's in its very infant stages, that she had put something together to kind of get it going. So she definitely understands that, there would be a lot more conversation. However, I think this can be very easily solved. At the end of the day, county doesn't have capacity either. County buys their water. And I suggested all we would need to do, if they had a concern that we didn't have capacities, we have that interlocal agreement with the water authority. We buy the water from the water authority, we send the water to where we need to, and the problem is solved. I think this bill was put out because of some pressure from some people, but I think at the end of the day, this is very easily resolved.
Great.
I also mentioned to her the suggestion that Tom Spencer had, is that if we could get a reprieve on the limitations from Swift Mud on the minimum water flows for a period of time, that we could actually increase the amount of water we produce. I think you said 14 million gallons a day almost immediately.
So we physically have the production capability for 14 million gallons currently. We are only limited by restrictions put in place by the Southwest Florida Water Management District. If there is a way for those to be temporarily removed, or at least until the RO plant was completed, we would have access right now to approximately an additional 6 million gallons. Prior to 2020, we had the capacity at the surface water treatment plant to treat 10 million gallons. When those MFLs came into play, that capacity didn't go away. Just our permit was changed to not allow us to withdraw.
And she said that she was skeptical that they would bend on that, but she would look into it.
So I have a question, Janine Polk for the record. Our facility, you say, is outside of the city limits, but
Correct.
that property that it's on is actually leased. We lease it. Is that correct?
We own the water treatment plant property.
Okay, we do own that piece,
Correct.
even though it's not contiguous with the city of Punta Gorda within the city limits. So really and truly, to even take it over, I mean, that would involve a very large sale, I would think, a very expensive sale. Okay, that was my question. Thank you for confirming that.
We've been working very hard to keep up with the needs. Since we were elected, we've worked on infrastructure with water, drainage. You know, Tom, we have our water meters being replaced. We've been doing a lot. Maybe Dawn doesn't know all the things we've been doing, but we have, and everything's being started and initiated. We've agreed to a $200 million upgrade for all of that water and increasing our RO plant, and we're being responsible with our resources. I don't appreciate Vanessa Oliver or anyone else coming along and saying, you're doing a good job and we need what you've got. I mean, it feels like a hostile takeover. Yeah. But I'm sure that's not what the intent. But
right.
we're really trying to do a good job, and maybe they do want to overdevelop, and maybe we can't keep up. Maybe nobody can. Maybe they can improve their water system and take care of all that development out there. Because honestly, we don't benefit from it. The county does, from the taxes and everything else that goes along with it.
I can imagine that many outsiders that aren't directly involved have a similar view to Don. But what we do have right now is inertia in the utilities department. You know, since I've been in the position, all we've done is move projects forward. You know, we're building out the well field. We're going to expand the RO plant. The meters, the RFP draft is in. So I mean, that'll be going out soon. Everything that we're doing has been moving everything forward, giving us that ability to serve and to rebuild the trust with the public, so that they don't think that we're not doing things. So that's been one of my motivators. Is I want everybody to be proud of what we have and know that we're providing a quality product and truly care about their health and safety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been our goal.
Thank you.
And you've been doing a good job. Thank you, Tom.
Debbie Lutz, so I read this over and over and over again because I was trying to understand what the purpose was for this, because like you said, we've seemed to work really well with the county. And the more I read it, the more frustrated I got, because it's looking for codified so that we have our boundaries placed. But the thing that bothered me the most, which made me think this is what you said, a hostile takeover, is because we have the map that will give the official boundaries of the district. And then they want to take, so what they were saying, section 4, Charlotte County is authorized to assume responsibility for potable water utility service operations, billing, management, and associated assets and obligations for the area within the codified district, which means that they want to take over the city, which means we keep on saying, well, we don't know how they're going to do it. Yeah, we do. They're going to take over our plant. That's how they're going to do it. That's what this sounds like. It doesn't sound like they're saying, hey, we want to work together. It sounds like they're saying, nope, that's not in the city. We're going to take it over because we've done some things. We haven't worked with the infrastructure. We haven't worked on trying to keep up with all our changes with development. And the city's worked very well with it. We've been trying to make sure our infrastructure keeps up with any kind of development that we're doing. And to me, it sounds like they're saying, we want it so that we can work this out. And I'm sorry. Like I said, I was trying not to look at it that way, but this is what it sounds like. They want our facility.
Tom, have you, and again, when I talked to Rep. Oliver, she literally said she was the one that drafted this bill. So I don't, right now, by the information I have, the county did not know this was coming. Possibly, you never know, but that's the information I have. You spoke to the county briefly, I'm assuming, and what was their kind of weigh-in on this or their stance?
That they were very surprised by it as well. They only learned about it on Thursday, and they were reviewing it. We through the conversation that I had with Claire Jubb, it was that we both agreed that this is a good opportunity to have a conversation and a good springboard towards promoting, more interlocal agreements and working together for planning for growth and planning for the future.
One more thing, Mayor, if I may, and that was one thing that Rep. Oliver asked me, having that interlocal agreement with the Water Authority, and she was under the impression we did not. It was a handshake, is what she was being told,
Right.
and that she would feel better that if we did have more
Of water directly other than through pool purchases when that pool water is available. The water supply study that I had presented to council, it gave the option and showed the pros and cons of both us purchasing water from the authority and building out the expansion of the RO plant. It was overwhelmingly less expensive to build out the RO plant and get the additional 4 million gallons versus buying the 4 million gallons from the authority. The authority also is waiting to build their reservoir. They're in the process of doing that. It's not complete yet. So we would be pretty much in the same situation, waiting for them to complete building their reservoir and their facility so that we could purchase that water.
Right.
We would just have a signed agreement committing to that 4 million gallons. When we're doing this, we'll own our capacity. I do think that it is probably a good idea in the future when the opportunity arises for us to get an allocation from the authority. We'll have to look at that and do some modeling and figure out how much would be appropriate, just for the operational resiliency to have that there as an option, and to use in emergencies when we would need it, or even transitional growth periods. But right now we do have the option to purchase if need be. I've spoken with the authority, and all it would take right now is a vote from their board.
So Debbie Lux, it just boils down to, we have Miss Oliver fabricating this without talking to anyone. So somebody had to drive her to do this. And we even talked about it at our last council meeting, that we were going to have, we discussed about joint meetings, especially with all these interlocal agreements. So my concern is, why was there no, if she thought something and she thought that we didn't have this, why didn't she call our city manager? Why didn't she talk to you? Why didn't she contact any of us? This is concerning.
She outright said it was the airport authority and the other developers out there in the ECAP area that are frustrated.
She still needed to talk to us.
I agree, but
Janine
that's
Polk
who
for
it
the
is.
record, excuse me. I have a piece of property out in the ECAP zoned area, and I drive by there every day. There's so much development going out there. It is just wonderful. And I have not heard any complaints. I'm also on the airport authority board, or not on the board, I'm on the liaison between the board and the city of Punta Gorda. And they've never complained about anything other than they were having difficulty getting some of the water meters. And I said, wait a minute, and I spoke up in that meeting, and I said, I will take care of that right away, and it was taken care of. TJ's here to talk about it. So there was a little miscommunication, I think, between getting the water meters and them thinking that they had to wait another 8-9 weeks, something like that. But that was cleared up. So I'm not understanding at all where this is coming from, the airport authority. I don't believe that at all.
Well, and also, sorry, Janice Denton here. When you talk about impact fees or tap fees, whatever someone referred to that, we have been working hard to raise our impact fees to cover the expenses of expansion, of taking care of our citizens, and charging new construction developers for that.
And that's the responsible thing to do. Charlotte County clearly has not been responsible with their impact fees when they have to, 4 times the amount, you know? And we had to work hard even to be able to do more than double, because we were behind from previous councils who never dealt with it. We were behind, and now we are catching up and dealing with it. And so all these things, they're tied together. And I just want people to know, and our residents to know, we're doing the job, and we don't appreciate it being unappreciated by the county and usurped, or whatever they're trying to do. It's a mystery.
So we did raise our utility rates for our users, but we also did raise the impact fees, as you said. That's the capacity fee or the tap fee, depending on how you want to call it. But that fee was raised, and we used the extraordinary measures, which required the 2 public hearings and the workshops, and we got it done. So we've raised that to bring it more in line, so that we have revenue sufficiency, so that growth is paying for growth.
Did any of you want to pipe in or say anything? Okay. Just wait, Gary?
Go ahead, Gary. Press and hold. Hold it.
Hold it. Press and hold.
Yeah, and then let go. Now let go. Should be on now.
No.
Hold on,
Dave,
Gary.
will you give yours?
I'll trade you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Gary Skillicorn, I think we're missing one piece of information that I think the residents even had brought up earlier. It's a gap that really hasn't been closed yet, and maybe there is no answer. I heard in the presentation that we're only looking for county takeover for the service area, the water provided outside of the city. But yet interpretation of the language is unclear. So I think a good bit of the residents, and they spoke earlier in the comments, are looking for an answer to that. Are they looking to take away city or not? That's kind of the question that hasn't been answered.
Debbie Lutz, I think Tom did state something towards that, because it did sound to me that if, our facility is outside, then are they, like Janine said, are they going to purchase it, and then all of a sudden are they going to charge the city, for fees because the facility is outside of the city limits? That's concerning. Janine, you want to say something? TJ, did you want to come up and say something?
Hi everyone, TJ Thornberry for the record. I have a fellow commissioner here, so I'll be very careful regarding sunshine, but in full disclosure, I found out about this on Nextdoor. So just to put it out there, that we'll be drilling down about this. I saw it on Nextdoor and said, I'm coming to find out more. So as far as the authority goes, we'll be drilling down and there will be a response. So I just want to let you know that this is not something that has come before us. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you. Dave, you want to say something?
Dave, do you need it? Okay. Dave Abdul, Vice Chair, City of Punta Gorda Utility Advisory Board. I think, to me, just like everybody else, this came out of the blue. Mr. Spencer's been on top of this, and he reached out to me and let me know. I'm sure he had a very sleepless weekend because of this. I know I thought about a lot of things. Just a couple quick things. One of the public speakers, which I appreciate, mentioned it, and bottom line, this does not pass the smell test. Bottom line, something's going on. I don't.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
We can hear you still.
Okay, I can talk loud.
Keep talking.
Something's going on that, as all of you ladies and gentlemen have said, we don't know what that is yet. And I think that is the important answer. I think another important thing was, I find it very disturbing that, to quote Mr. Spencer, this was not initiated by the county. That's mind-boggling. I have some history on this board. I knew the previous utilities director. I
asked the question when all the development on Burnstone Road was going in. And I said, you know, Mr. Peters, because I come from a city that we sold water and we made our city great for selling water. I said, why aren't we selling water on Burnstone Road? And he said to me, we do not have the capacity. And there it is, simple. And so what happened? County built a tiny little plant down on Burnstone Road, and now the developers are coming in, you know, and they're going, we want our water, we want our treatment. They don't have the capacity. It's a simple, you know, do the calcs, bring the consultants. They do not have the capacity. So where's this coming from? I didn't think I'd see it in my lifetime, but water is a commodity now. And I think this gentleman up there, from my time working with him with the UAB, he knows that. And he's looking out for the residents of the city and our water, which is our future.
That's right.
Thank you.
George?
If I could, I've heard Miss Oliver mention exactly where does she fit into this picture?
She's the sponsor of the bill.
She's the sponsor of the bill.
From the state?
Correct.
Okay. Her background?
She's your representative.
I understand, but I'm saying, what's her background?
She's an attorney.
She's an attorney.
She's a very bright lady.
She's on the airport
Okay.
authority for a couple years.
Anything dealing with the developers?
Yes.
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 Second, I don't think I need to go any further with that. Secondly, I heard something about the issue with her also included the airport. Do we have any issues with the airport serving them water?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. David? You might have to give the mic.
Okay, I'll just speak up. They're all on.
No, we need it on the record. Yeah.
We
We got it. There you go. It's on.
High-tech stuff. Here we go. Okay, thank you. David Hooper, Punta Gorda Isles. I'm relatively new to this UAB stuff and local politics and all that other that goes with that. And I'm a very black and white person. From what I'm hearing, there's so much grey in this. It's not even, you can't even get to the bottom of it. So I'd like all that cleared up before we even go any further with this. And what I take out of all of this is Charlotte County has a problem. That's not our issue. We're fixing ours, and Tom's doing a great job to keep that going. So that's all I can say on the matter. This their problem shouldn't be our nightmare. So, and we need to know more details.
Okay. Missy, did you want to say anything?
Janice Denton, our first responsibility is to our citizens, and we've worked hard to take care of the citizens. They've had to pay more for their water so that we can build out the RO. And so we're doing what it takes to increase our supply. Now, if there's developers out at the airport who aren't happy with the amount of supply we're able to create, and that's even going to take a long time, that's not on us. You know, our first responsibility is to the citizens. Now, I like to see development, I like to see growth in certain ways, but it's got to be controlled growth, managed growth, and growth that helps and benefits everyone and doesn't hurt our citizens who are behind the water and the sewer that we do have and have invested in it for years and years and years and years.
And maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I'm misunderstanding you, but right now we have an obligation to service our service area, whether that's residents inside or residents outside. It's our service area, and I think that's to me, just a brief conversation is the reason behind this very infancy bill was that the thought is if Punta Gorda can't provide water to people that are technically in the county, then the county needs to step in and do it themselves. And I think that's where the conversation is. I think what they haven't thought about is how would they even do that? And the county doesn't make their own water. They get it from the water authority. So my logic is that if there was a development that came out on that ECAP area, and if for some reason we didn't have the capacity, then we would enter into an interlocal agreement just as we've done before for an end user and solved it that way. So, you know, our obligation is to our service area, and I think that's where we're at.
That is exactly what we did at the last council meeting.
Exactly. This was, again, lack of communication.
That was going to be my point. If this is truly about economic development, we have proven as a city council and as a board of county commissioners that we can make things happen when they're a good project that'll benefit the residents of our county and of our service area. So to have this come down from the state level just doesn't seem like the timing is right or appropriate, because we are working so well with the county staff. Our city staff and county staff have really good relationships. Our city council and our board of county commissioners, they're talking to each other. We haven't been able to get that joint meeting yet, but everybody's talking to each other and getting information, so the timing on this just doesn't seem to be right.
My understanding.
Debbie, can I suggest one
Wait,
little thing?
wait.
We aren't closed yet.
Nope,
It's
Sherry.
It's got to be on the record.
What? Well, I think it should be something that's said right now that they can talk about.
We'll have input at the end.
Yep, Sherry, we'll have input. We'll have input in the end, okay?
Save it.
No, it isn't good to wait till the end.
Okay. Okay. So, can you clarify, we've talked about that the county would sell us water, which would pass through our system basically, and then would go out to those developments if we don't have enough. Is that correct? And is there some chance where they'll cut off that amount, even if it's not enough, and then we have to figure out where it's going to come from? Did I hear that? Is that true?
I
Limit
think
that amount?
it was first come, first served, isn't that what it
It was
stated?
first come first. The current interlocal agreement that we had with the county is for 500,000 gallons a day to serve a specific project in that economic development area. We could ask for more if there is more available, but the more appropriate route will be for us to go through the Peace River Regional Water Supply Authority and purchase directly. And I'm working with staff and working with their staff to have that discussion and find out what we need to do and how to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Debbie Lex for the record. Like you said, it all seems to boil down to lack of communication, where we had somebody who decided to make a bill without having any communication with anybody and just thought something. Where it came from, who it was, because apparently it wasn't the airport, that's concerning. And that's what we need to figure out, because to me, like you said, this doesn't make sense. And I know, Mr. Leskovich, you're on the airport board as well, and I don't know if you want to put any input in this.
Well, I have to.
Be careful. I should tell Mr. Thornberry to leave.
No, I mean, TJ Thornberry and I are both elected officials on the Charlotte County Airport Authority, so I have to be careful of what I say because of sunshine, but also for a conflict of interest between here. But I echo what Mr. Thornberry has indicated, that I'm unaware of anything from the airport that's driving this. But let me kind of give you guys a few things that I'm hearing, but I want to, from my perspective and my research, my understanding the legislative history on things, and I've known Representative Oliver a long time, and I actually took her seat on the Airport Authority. I'm assuming, and we know what they say about someone who assumes, kind of three things, in my opinion, and my opinion only, are driving this potential bill. Either the county's behind it, there's a special interest group behind it, or some kind of developer behind it. Tom, can you pull up that map that you had with the city boundaries, the ECAP, our service area? The red is the corporate municipal limits, right? Correct. So let me first address this. What this bill is addressing to you guys is, whether it's council, whether it's someone else you hire, you have to codify on an effective date what the municipal boundaries are.
Correct.
Period. So hypothetically, if the red is the municipal boundaries, that's it for you guys.
Right.
If you annex property, this bill does not address annexation of property. What it says is, that is your boundary, that is what you have, that is where your service area relies. But if the county were to annex, the east side of a street that's in the service area, you can't do it. The bill doesn't leave open avenues for annexation. So all your pre-annexation agreements become crap. I mean, I hate to be blunt about it, but they become crap. If, for whatever reason, the city decides to make efforts to annex the entire service area, the bill does not permit you to do that. So it's vague and ambiguous and creates potential problems down the road. If the same thing with the ECAP zone, if the city tries to annex or go out into it, you can't do it. So it doesn't allow for this bill as written does not allow for annexation down the road. You're capped. But if you make one small mistake in codifying your boundaries, even if it's just 10 feet, you could have litigation down the road. There is an effective date in this bill. The effective date, and I will hypothetically say, December 31st, 2026. Hypothetically. Bam, that's it. That's the date this thing becomes effective. That the county takes over the water system. Whether the county's behind it or not, really it becomes irrelevant. The only way the county can take over a municipality's water system or treatment plant is by state statute. So that gives me, in my assumption, potentially the county could be behind it, and I'm assuming that they're not. I'm assuming that they are, but the only way the county can take it over is by a legislatively enacted statute that allows the county to come in, and I've heard, hostile takeover. To me, it would be a legislatively created legal hostile takeover is really what it is.
Yes.
When Tom had mentioned, what happens to the treatment plant that's sitting outside our levels? Tom, I may agree or disagree with you. Would they have to buy it from us? The way this bill is written, it appears to me they just can take it.
Yeah. That's what it sounds
But I may be mistaken because it's vague. Because the bill is vague. Something else that if the county, assuming the county takes over the water system, everybody in the city that's in the codified boundaries as well as everywhere else would end up paying county rates, nothing to do with the city, which then in turn creates uncertainties with interlocal agreements, that interlocal agreements really become null and void because the county has taken it over. Not only that, but I see Kristen sitting here too. I'm about to get to her department in a second. The city relies upon some of the revenue from the water and wastewater to help fund what happens within the city limits. This does not address, in essence, everything goes to the county, and the city would lose whatever net revenue may come about from it.
And we have
There's
to
an
pay our
issue
bills.
where, what's that?
And then we have to still pay our bills.
And then still pay your bills. There would be an immediate transfer of water, but there's a delayed transfer on the wastewater, which then creates another problem that you would have to have an interlocal agreement with the county to say, here's when we're anticipating the wastewater system going to the county. But if you can't come to a date, then you're going to end up in litigation with the county and the state because both of us are not in agreement with the bill. So we could potentially end up with losing the water and potentially end up having to keep the sewage and wastewater. Potentially, according to the way the bill is written. we could have problems with, this is where I'm getting to Kristen now, and I don't know, because I don't work in your department, Kristen, if there are bonds that are currently attached to wastewater and the potable water, or if there are bonds or contracts out there, would the city still be liable on these bonds and financial obligations, even though there could be a transfer to the county? So, to me, in my understanding and research of this bill, and I hate that I had to bill you guys a couple extra hours for doing some research on this.
Charge the county.
Yeah.
Give it to Vanessa.
Charge the county. Normally, bills are sent to the legislature written by lobbyists, written by special interest groups, written by developers who are looking for something in return. I don't know why this was written. I don't care who wrote it. From a legal perspective, this bill is crap as written because it leaves open a lot of ambiguities. And my suggestion to the city is that you guys send a letter off to Representative Oliver, a letter off to Representative Nix, because Representative Oliver is your representative in the city. So it's shocking to me it's coming from your representative. I mean, I could understand if it's coming from someone in the panhandle who has nothing to do with this. But I would highly suggest that you guys write off a demanding letter, you know, a quite stern letter, like, what the hell? And, you know, try to bring her in. The most shocking thing to me, I saw this Friday about 6 or 7 o'clock at night and was shocked. You know, trying to help you guys, like, look, come in and speak to us one-on-one. Let us know what the mentality is behind this, because to me, and this is only my opinion, is there's something behind the scenes going on why something like this would be written. Now, I will use the example, and it's not breaching any sunshine crap, is prior to me being on the airport, there was this whole privatizing the airport that came about. And where did that originate? Representative Oliver. Now, I'm not faulting her for anything, but something's driving this, as opposed to, hey, I don't really know what's going on. We need to figure out what's going on, but I would encourage you guys to write a nice objection letter to this bill going to the Senate or going to the House floor or House committee, because there are so many ambiguities. It is vague, it is unclear, and there are serious, significant concerns the city would have. That's my legal opinion to you guys. Take it for what it's worth, but you know, you're not here to approve this. You're not here to disapprove it. You know, you guys are here because of your charter under Section 3 or Article 3, Section 7 that allows you guys to be here in a 24-hour notice. So you guys need a lot of answers. But if a bill ends up going through, you may not have a choice. Just like your 911 system. It's codified in state law. If it happens, it's coming. So the city needs to be prepared to fight this. I would kindly ask you to contact our lobbyist up there, whoever is involved with doing what they do up there and whatever else it is. That's all I got to say.
Sorry, go ahead.
Just wanted to let you know that our lobbyist is working for us and she's aware of this issue and is seeking more information from Representative Oliver as well.
Is this something where I can make a motion to construct such a letter?
I mean, you can make a motion to write a letter, but to me, you can call it an emergency/special set meeting, which is called upon by the mayor, any council member, or the city manager. If you guys wanted me to draft a letter and try to, get it to Missy, if I send it to each of you, you can't respond to it because of sunshine. At least you have a final draft. I can work with Tom on it, whoever else needs to be involved, so we can try to get something out. I don't really, I have no problem writing it.
Absolutely.
I was supposed to be in court tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. It went away, so I have time to get to it. But I will be happy to start creating and drafting one for you guys to try to get out. I just see a lot of problems with this that sets the city up for litigation, and you're strapped to your little boundary area here.
I think if you send us a draft, as long as we don't reply all, we can respond to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's the understanding that, of course, it's subject to public records, and,
Right.
which is fine. I had no problem with that. But I think you guys need to do something quickly, because if I'm not mistaken, I think the legislators are heading back to Tallahassee next week for committee hearings or legislative hearings or something, and session starts come January.
And Janine pulled for the record, December 17th, I believe, is the date that they will all be here. So that will be Danny Nix, Representative Oliver, and also Senator, yeah, Albrecht.
We'll be here?
And we'll be in Charlotte County.
Oh, at Murdoch.
At the
Okay.
Murdoch building. So December 17th, if you all would show up there too, that would be greatly appreciated. And maybe give your 9 a.m.
So December
Is it 10
17th is
o'clock?
what,
10
next
to
Wednesday?
11. It's 10 o'clock.
It's 10 o'clock. Okay,
10 to
excuse
11.
me, 10 o'clock.
So Debbie, you wanna,
Go ahead.
so, do you want a motion or just consensus or what? Because we all are, I think we're in agreement on this.
I think we have consensus, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So, a question, where does home rule come into this? Is home rule a factor on something like this?
I mean, there is home rule, but when the state makes the statute, home rule really doesn't apply. It goes away.
Wow.
I mean, I could be a smartass, and I'm sorry for saying it like that. I see the newspaper here, so maybe she'll put this in there, maybe I should send the letter to the newspaper first and let everyone see it through the newspaper.
Why not?
But that's just me kind of being a little bit comical about it. But listen, I will have a letter out if you guys are in consensus to do it.
Yes.
I'll have it done and ready to be sent out in finalized version by this Friday at noon, so that whoever the powers that be need to have it will have it prior to the weekend. Then they'll have Monday, Tuesday, and prior to Wednesday to have it reviewed.
Sounds great.
Definitely, thank you.
Dave?
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, do you, or would you prefer a motion from the UAB supporting that action?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, as vice chair, I can either hand the gavel, or if one of my learned colleagues, could I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, in support of
Oh,
the actions as described by the interim city
Right.
attorney. Second, all in favor, any further comments? No? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign? You have it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Lots of authority.
Anything else, Tom?
Nope. Tom, I'll
Thank you
get
very
with
much.
you and Dr. Reichert for sure, but whoever else needs to be involved in drafting, let me know. Maybe I'll get your thoughts first. I have my notes. I mean,
You're spot on that.
I have quite a bit of notes, but I'm going to make sure that whoever else needs to see it from your end as well. Okay?
Absolutely, thank you.
That was awesome. That's exactly how
listen,
I felt.
I'm frustrated with it, not just as an attorney. I'm frustrated for you guys because you had no warning, and there was nothing that came to you ahead of time. Hey, here's what we're thinking. Can we get your input? That's why I'm frustrated for you guys. I don't mean to come across as being, sounding blunt about it, but I'm just frustrated that it was just you blindsided. And I'm hoping, Tom, the county was blindsided as well.
That is the impression that I got.
So if you're done with this, then you need to open it back up for quick
Well,
public comment.
That's going to be at the
Oh, I'm sorry.
very end. Dr. Eckert, you want to say anything else? You didn't want to say anything else? Nope. Anybody else you want to say anything? No. Jennifer, do you have anything that you want to say? No. Okay, now we're going to open it up for public comment again. Sherry, did you want to say something? Yeah, you need to go up.
My name is Sherry Harlander. I live in PGI, and I work with a group of people at a federal level. we're not paid or anything, we just happen to be people that care about what's going on in our government. What we do is we work together and actually, there's an attorney that writes papers that we all, then we can send them out to our congressmen and all the senators and stuff like that, so we're in sync with each other. And we've changed a lot of things that the federal government was thinking about doing, but they didn't because there were so many of us that did this. Because this isn't just a Florida thing, this is all over the entire United States group of people. Now, every one of us have the right to vote for this person. So if we do what you're talking about doing is what I'm suggesting, get everybody that lives in Punta Gorda and in the area to be consistent with our letter that we write, and we all send a letter to her, and we have a lot of power as the people that vote for her. So I'm suggesting if you can give a draft that you say, hey, everybody can use this draft, please send it to, to her saying we don't want this bill to go through. And get it out right away, because the sooner you get this out, it's not like it's something you can sit on and think about, and in a week or two when this thing is already at the state level and passed, you need to do it now. So that's all I'm suggesting, and find a way to get it out to everybody. I mean, not everybody goes on Nextdoor, including me. I don't go, but John goes. I'm sure you've heard his voice. So if you would just think that over. That's why I wanted it, while you're having your meeting, I want you guys to discuss it. Because I'm saying the same thing the attorney's saying, only I'm saying use the power of the people in the city, not just the council. And that has a lot to a lot of power. When you vote for that person. And you can simply say, I voted for you and I don't want you to do this. And it carries a lot of weight. You'd be surprised.
Thank you, sir.
Next. For the record, John Spraga. I've said many times we have a lot of tribal knowledge in our town. Might be a good idea to reach out to the residents who have past experience with things that come up from a state or county level that affect the town like this. Basically, we've been outflanked, and we have to respond quickly, and we have to do it with knowledge. I don't have that knowledge. The knowledge I have has to do with my industry. The other day I played music with a guy, a drummer, who his background is in water treatment. We're all over the town. We have a lot of people in this town that have knowledge that we can take advantage of. We've been outflanked. We need to deal with it in that perspective. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I was just wondering, you guys were talking about how the
State
water
your name,
treatment.
Debbie.
Oh, my name's Debbie Kudre, part of Punta Gorda Isles. You're discussing how the water treatment plant is outside near Washington Loop and that, and I don't know if is that the wastewater plant too? Mm-hmm. Okay, so isn't there any way that we could annex that to our city or whatever? Shouldn't that be part of our map footprint? I mean, can't we make that part of our, GIS map footprint?
We have to be contiguous.
That's what I was going to ask next. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kay Ebbs, Punta Gorda resident. I want to thank Janice for mentioning the people. So when you say the city, it's the retired grandma and grandpa, people who are on fixed income and everything. It's not the city. It's all these different individuals. So I'm not sure why we would want to have to pay for other people's benefit, like something going in at the airport or anything. I know something that's going on back where my kids are up in Ohio is they want to put a data center in that's sucking all the water out of the area, all the electricity and stuff like that. We just need to be aware of stuff like that. So thanks for having our backs. Thank you.
Thank you.
A quick one from Kathleen Davis again, PGI. The summary of this meeting that I'm getting is Ms. Lockhart called Vanessa Oliver. Vanessa Oliver said that this was initiated by the airport authority and the developers. The county has not heard about it. The county says, which I believe, Commissioner Teseo, they have not heard about it. The airport authority has not heard about it. So we had not heard about it. So I believe that must leave the developers. There's there was something on a meeting going on that I left to come here. I think it's pronounced Pulte or something. Pulte? Yeah, they're trying to build 8,000 homes within a few feet of the water treatment plant. I don't like this. I don't like what I'm hearing. I believe the county. I believe the airport authority. I felt hostile towards the county when I came in because of the 911 thing. But no, this does not seem, it seems to me we're all in this. The county's not ready for this. They say so. So this is the developers, certain developers. Thanks.
And just to be clear with my statements, I didn't mention airport authority. I said out by the ECAP. And she did say there were some developers that had some concerns and some constituents. So, yeah.
Holden Gibbs, Fire Chief. I'm not here to speak on this specific matter, but just wanted to make you guys aware that the county just issued a county-wide burn ban. Sarasota County is in a burn ban, so is DeSoto County. So we're looking maybe for a head nod that we're probably going to follow suit with that as well. The little bit of rain we got yesterday did not do anything for us. So I know Tom would love some rain. We're in that drought season, so just so that you guys are aware.
Is that good? Nod?
No
Yes?
burning.
Yes?
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Don Hurlston for the record. I'm sorry, I did not mean to imply that the laundry list of projects I mentioned are currently suffering from inertia. It was more of a historical synopsis of some of the programs that have in the past and might in the future suffer from inertia. I mentioned that I have a solution, and this is a rather novel idea, but I think it has a lot of merit. I'll be more than happy to provide the city manager with a more detailed outline. This solution involves looking at the budget for the assistant manager position and reallocating it to a team of interns from FGCU to immerse themselves into city functions and relieves all, or at least most, of the city departments from a lot of the more mundane activities that consume great amount of time. This should be a paid position. This should also be a position that allows these students to simultaneously obtain their master's degree so that FGCU can implement a curriculum that would coincide with municipal government actions. We should also provide housing, either through the Punta Gorda Housing Authority, who owes us money every month from that $1 million loan that's being paid off over 30 years, or once TJ and his group is done rehabbing the AC Freeman, that might be a good place for housing. By having a team of interns who can disperse themselves under the direction of only the city manager and tackle projects, we can start accumulating data, research, analysis, so that when issues like this pop up quickly, we have a way to start running fast. There are other projects that take time. Inertia is built in, but we can get on top of them. We can be the pushing and the driver instead of the inertia pushing and driving us. So I'd be more than happy to submit a more detailed report to the city manager. But I would like city council to put it on the agenda. I'd like the city to reach out to FGCU to see if they in fact would be willing to develop this type of a program. The world's changing fast. Artificial intelligence is available. We need to start racing to the future while simultaneously clearing the table of all these lingering problems. Now, I know that the city manager probably has a different viewpoint in terms of who should be or what the city assistant manager should be. We could still go ahead and have a city manager hire an assistant city manager, but we can do both. This program comes in under $200,000 a year. That covers a salary for the intern, tuition for the intern, and housing for the intern. Pick one or pick both. But let's talk about it and make it an agenda item. Thank you.
Just a couple of comments on that. We have already extended an offer that was accepted for an assistant city manager. His name is Michael Bonacera. He will start with us on January 6th. Has an extensive background in public information, public communications, and will be very responsive to residents and engaging with residents to make sure that you get all the information that you need in the places that you are. The other thing that he will deal with is business development. He will work with marketing and some of the businesses in the area that need a little additional support, especially through those summer months. So we have a full program of work for him as well as the strategic planning, and we need to develop new key performance indicators as well. So we have a lot on our plate with that position. In terms of interns and service learning opportunities, fortunately our city clerk's office has done a great job of engaging with FGSU and bringing interns into our city, and she has always worked. I give Jennifer Faulkner complete credit for this. She has brought the intern opportunities to every single department manager within the city, and we certainly can look at that as a staff to see if there's more opportunities for us to have additional service learning individuals with us. The city manager's office has shared an intern with the city clerk's office for the past 2 semesters, and we certainly have other places within the city that we can use interns as well.
Awesome. Anybody else? Oh.
I'll be brief. Cheryl McDonald, PGI. I would like to know where all the water's gonna come from. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd just like to know where everybody thinks all this water's gonna come from. I've lived here a long time. We haven't seen a really bad drought in maybe a decade. Wait till you see Punta Gorda turn cracked with fissures this big, and when it finally rains, it rolls off. They doesn't even absorb, number one. Number two, somebody mentioned a drummer. I have a favorite drummer. He was screwed royally of a lot of money, and he said something very smart. He said, anytime somebody tries to push something past you really fast, step back. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No, thank you for coming here tonight. Meeting is adjourned.
No customer.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everybody.